Hey everyone, welcome to CLAT Point. Today we have Jayesh जिन्होंने इस साल CLAT PG के अंदर ऑल इंडिया रैंक 18 लाया है एंड इनका स्कोर जो है 82 समथिंग था। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जयेश कंग्रेचुलेशन कि आपको इतनी बड़ी एक अचीवमेंट मिली एंड आई होप कि पीएसयू में आपके इस बार सिलेक्शन हो जाए। तो टेल अस समथिंग अबाउट यू पहले।
Well, as he said, my full name is Jayesh Bhargav. I was born and brought up in this city, the capital of Rajasthan, Jaipur. Now, after
You
doing
have
my
also
schooling,
lived right now.
coincidence, right? So, after doing my 12th from here, I moved to Delhi to pursue my undergrad from College of Business Studies, Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies. There, I completed 3-year BBA in Financial Investment Analysis. So I think it was 2015 to 2018, and I was pretty sure where I wanted to move in terms of career and everything. But then there was this innate, let's just say, desire or attraction towards law or public policy and how that world basically operates. And that's when I took the decision to move into this particular field. Although I had some knowledge because of a lot of my friends who had cleared CLAT and were doing the 5-year program. But right after my 3-year or my undergrad, I understood that there is an excellent 3-year law college right here in Delhi University, Campus Law Center. So I appeared for its entrance, and if I recall right, yeah, I scored AR 50 in that and was easily able to get
सीएलसी
CLC.
में आप थे तो सीएलसी का तो रैंक ऊपर ही जाता है, तो वो अपने आप में आप अच्छा
Huh.
रहेंगे।
So 3 years there completely changed my perspective when it came to public policy or economics or basically how the country operates. And that itself helped me basically gauge my potential better. So that had been the journey till 2021 or the delayed 21 because of COVID and everything. So after when we graduated, hence other plans pursued.
जयेश जो है ना, ही इज ऑल्सो इन यूपीएससी एस्पिरेंट। तो अभी मेरे जो सारे क्वेश्चंस होने वाले हैं ना, वो आप लोग अलग अलग तरीके से रिलेट कर सकते हैं। लाइक वो यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे थे, क्लैट पीजी भी दे रहे थे। अगर आप लोग कॉलेज में हैं तो आप कॉलेज की भी तैयारी करोगे एंड आप ये एंट्रेंस टेस्ट दोगे, या फिर अगर आप जुडिशरी की तैयारी कर रहे थे देन ऑल्सो इनकी जो स्ट्रेटेजीज थी वो आप पे इम्प्लीमेंट हो सकती हैं, क्योंकि इनको भी दो जगह पे टाइम डिवाइड करना था। तो जय, सबसे पहले तो यही बताओ यार, हाउ डू यू मैनेज क्लैट एंड योर पर्सनल प्रिपरेशन एंड अदर स्टफ्स।
So the idea was very simple. As you said, that I have been and I am still an UPSC aspirant. So right after college, in fact, throughout the college, I only focused on law. Basically, the idea was not only to understand what I am doing, why I am doing, or how much better I can do at it, and what is the basically the potential, the limit to which I can excel. And once I basically started doing that, is there some disturbance?
नो नो नो, यू आर
Ah,
completely audible.
perfect. Yeah, so 3 years almost went through like that. But during these 3 years, I met a lot of seniors who not only guided me, but also gave me the perspective of how you can maximize your potential. If you have certain interest in public policy, the implementation, then certainly you get to know more about the permanent executive in this country, the bureaucracy, how it functions and helps the country grow. And that's when I decided, okay, this would be a particular field in which I want to venture. Now again, as it's a famous saying, कि कुछ भी ज्ञान खराब नहीं जाता, कुछ भी सीखोगे हरदम काम आता है. So after 3 years, COVID hit and everything changed. But I knew that I wanted to maintain my trajectory towards preparation of this particular exam. And because I had done the 3-year law course, I opted for law as an optional subject. And generally, if people are aware about the syllabus of law and what all chapters and what all syllabus or books or particularly laws that we entail in that, you would be aware that it's pretty much divided into two segments. One is the subjective part of it, and the other is procedural. Now, if you are someone who is aware of the procedural bit, because of, let's say, you are preparing for judiciary or any other exam, APO or other exams that would require your procedural grasp, then it might have been a little difficult. But in my case, since I was already having a good command over the subjective part of it, which I had covered during the 3 years of my LLB course, I opted that and used that as a base to prepare or basically prepare the law optional subject for my UPSC attempts. Now, once I was started doing the basic preparation, I got to know that there are certain resources which our seniors basically popularized among us were the Dukis. They are very, very efficient, concise resource that are available in Delhi
मैंने भी कॉलेज
University.
में पढ़ा है, मैं डीयू के कैंपस
And
में जाता था कई।
I cannot praise them enough. I mean, I think Singhal and AK Jain are the two major publishers, and those people are very approachable. I mean, if you want a certain chapter or perspective to be covered in the next edition of the Dukki, you can even approach them. So it was like a particular type of notes that are just catered towards you. And the best part about them was not only they covered the static knowledge, because your seniors were writing them or at least contributing to them, there was a lot of dynamic knowledge also ingrained in them. So because I knew the importance of these books, I knew if I had covered them thoroughly and understood them well, I will be well versed with the subjective part of any law paper, so to say. And all I had to now concentrate was on the procedural part, which basically UPSC preparation never entailed. Now, coming on to the CLAT and LLM part. Now, this particular paper is a. I mean, you need to be a jack of all trades basically to crack this, because no one is quite certain कि कहाँ से आ जाएगा या क्या आ जाएगा, कितनी depth में आ जाएगा. You have to be on your toes, not only while preparing but also while attempting the paper. So as I said, मेरा थोड़ा subjective part काफी हद तक अच्छे से covered था because of law optional. एंड जो बाकी प्रोसीजरल पार्ट बचा वो मैंने गिवन टाइम में उस पर ज्यादा ब्रशअप करने की कोशिश की. एंड स्पेसिफिकली बिकॉज ये एक ऑब्जेक्टिव एग्जाम है rather than subjective, so I never needed to go into the depths what judiciary aspirants need to go. Rather, I was just brushing up my basic concept, remembering my college notes, and those all helped me to at least say that I am confident about the syllabus of this paper.
Yeah. तो ये तो बेसिक जयेश ने बताया कि हाउ ही मैनेज. तो जयेश एक बार बताइए, आप बचपन से ही मतलब 11th-12th में भी एक ब्राइट स्टूडेंट थे कि ये कॉलेज में आके बदला है थोड़ा सा?
नहीं मतलब
सीएलसी में जिनको नहीं पता है, जो लोग 5 ईयर लॉ करते हैं, डीयूएलएलबी का एग्जाम बहुत कट थ्रोट कंपटीशन होता है और उसमें बहुत ज्यादा लोग बैठते हैं और बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी तैयारी के साथ बहुत ब्रिलियंट ब्रिलियंट बच्चे बैठते हैं. इस बार तो जयेश को अगर आइडिया हो तो इस बार तो कट ऑफ भी बहुत हाई चली गई है डीयूएलएलबी की. तो उसमें 15 रैंक भी अपने आप में मतलब बहुत कम, वो है कमेंडेबल जॉब. तो 12th में भी पढ़ने में अच्छे थे कि कॉलेज में आके बदला ही?
नहीं मतलब to be very honest, I was an average student from the very start. And now
क्या
by
स्ट्रीम
average,
था
I do
11th-12th में?
commerce math. Now by average, obviously a lot of people attain to or relate that with marks. It In my particular case, average was that I was not wholly invested into academics. Rather, my parents gave me the let's just say the platform and the ability and even the push, so to say, to invest myself or to get that exposure in co-curricular activities. So even growing up, I was well invested in debates, sports, and everything. Hence, 11th, 12th, maybe I was, since Indian education system अगर आप समझते हैं तो आप समझते हैं कि एक गेम की तरह है. In order to win that game, there are certain prerequisites you need to attain. Now, whether आप उसको रट्टा मार के अटेन कर रहे हैं या समझ के अटेन कर रहे हैं या फिर ड्यूरिंग योर कोर्स ईयर आप समझते हैं एंड देन एग्जाम के आसपास आते हुए खुद को ज्यादा मगअप करते हैं, मतलब देयर आर एन नंबर ऑफ टेक्निक्स टू डू इट. But I think during school I cracked those and hence was able to secure almost always above 90%. So that ensured कि at least 12th के बाद Delhi University would be crackable.
ये तो है. तो जयेश, अभी तो आपने देखो कॉलेज के पर्सपेक्टिव से बताया, ये बताया. अभी जो जूनियर्स आ रहे हैं या फिर जो फ्यूचर में एलएलएम के लिए बैठने वाले हैं, आप उनको कुछ अपना ऐसा चीजें बताओ जो आपने किया है, क्योंकि 82 मार्क्स इस पेपर के अंदर एक बहुत बड़ी चीज है. मैं आप लोगों को जिनको नहीं पता है बता देता हूँ. क्लैट 2023 का पेपर बहुत अनएक्सपेक्टेड आया है और बहुत सारे बच्चे जो है ना सिर्फ पेपर देख के ही घबरा गए और फिर वो प्रेशर में बहुत बुरा करके आए. क्योंकि अगर आप 2021-22 का पेपर उठा लें, 20 का पेपर उठा लें, तो अगर मुझे आउट ऑफ 5 रेट करना हो तो मैं उनको करूंगा 2.5 या 3 की डिफिकल्टी और इसको मैं करूंगा 5 की डिफिकल्टी. मतलब इस लेवल का पेपर था ये. तो इसमें आप जो 82 लाए हो, तो क्या चीज आपके लिए वर्क करी और क्या आप बताना चाहते हो कि भाई ये चीजें कर लो तो उद्धार हो जाएगा?
देखिए, इसका कोई सिंपल या फिर शॉर्ट फॉर्मूला तो शायद आप भी ना दे पाए, शायद मैं भी ना दे पाऊं. बट आई थिंक इट if I have, if in particular terms, if you would say that I have done particularly well in this paper, I would say that that is because of a certain mindset. Now, a lot of people who have done their LLB or somewhere associated with law have to have a very clear idea about what they want to get out of their career. Now, those can be multiple things, that I want to open this particular door, or go through that particular door, or get to this particular end. That's your call. But at least you should have a certain idea. Now, in my mind, obviously, the whole India se LLM karo ya foreign se LLM karo, that whole debate was already crystallized during LLB wali years, and that helped me gauge कि मुझे किस particular direction में जाना है. And once I reached the answer कि मुझे India से करना है, and catered कि LLM का एक paper CLAT करवाता है, because India से करना है तो एक थोड़ा लगता है NLU brand and everything. Although if you want, I can obviously expand a little on non-NLUs also that offer wonderful CLAT LLM courses. But yeah, coming on to this particular paper, having already discussed my sources, I think the unpredictability part of it, the majority of it was dealt by being calm and collective. Now, thanks to a lot of channels like yours and others who have not only gauged this paper well, or at least the expectation of this paper, you have set a certain standard that this is an unpredictable paper. You cannot ask of consortium of NLU की certain aspects पे ही deal करेगा. तो थोड़ी बहुत unpredictability आपको accept करनी पड़ेगी, and वहीं पे paper में आपको open mind रख के deal करना पड़ेगा. And I think that mindset helped by your particular knowledge certainly helped. Then again, if a paper is uncertain as soon as you open it and you go through the certain paragraphs and you relate to, oh, evidence aaya, Companies Act se aaya, this say, and no one really expected ki yahan se aayega. Then I think one thing that helped me till now in other papers also is remembering that everything you have learned and everything you have lived has led you to this particular moment. Now, as I said, I have a background in financial investment analysis. So even though I have not gone through those particular financial terms or Companies Act in a long time, but still, there is a part of me that is well versed with them. Similarly, law bhi kali khatam nahi hui hai. I mean, in that sense, thoda time ho chuka tha usko bhi, almost a year now. But still, you went through the whole journey of learning different laws, their application, or why a certain law works, the object behind it. If not the particular section, you will still remember the object. And I'll credit this to the consortium of NLUs. If they do not ask you a certain specific thing, they give you a paragraph that at least helps you. If you know the object or the mind behind writing that particular paragraph, you would certainly at least eliminate one or two options. So presence of mind. Second, obviously leading from that.
I completely agree with you. आपका जो presence of mind वाला बात है ना, क्योंकि last to last year I also attended CLAT PG and I cracked it. तो मेरा कोई तैयारी नहीं था, हम तो कोचिंग में ही कराते थे. आई रिमेम्बर मैं सिर्फ पेपर लेने के लिए गया था क्योंकि एनालिसिस डालना था. बट उसमें बहुत सारे कॉमन सेंस के क्वेश्चन आते हैं, जैसे कि टैक्स के ऊपर जो टैक्स लगता है उसे क्या कहते हैं. अब ये आपको कोई बुक में नहीं पढ़ा सकता कि इसे सेस कहते हैं. अगर आप न्यूज़पेपर या ये पढ़ते होंगे आपको आइडिया होगा. तो होता क्या है ना कि बहुत लोग ओवर प्रेशर ले लेते हैं और घबरा के फिर पूरा पेपर खराब हो जाता है. वहां पे जो कीप एंड काम वाला जो आपने बोला है, वो जो करके करा
होगा.
हाँ, वो जो कि सबके लिए है. जैसे कोई भी चीज चेंज होती है तो वो सबके लिए, वो एक बच्चे के लिए तो है नहीं. तो ये माइंडसेट के साथ अगर थोड़ा
generally, I'll share a small a small incident that happened with me on that particular paper. So as you know, LLB, I mean CLAT undergraduate entrance and postgraduate generally happens on the same center, and in our city that was the same case. Now there is this another private law college that is quite far from my home, so there was a 2-3 hour drive that we had to take. And reaching there, you could just see the sheer number of people. That would be a reason for anyone, I would say anyone, to just be taken aback a little and see, maybe I'm a little out of my depth, maybe getting a little scared or unsure is natural here. But when I entered the room, there were these large tables which were shared, which there were 2 seats attached to each table, so to say. And there were about 14 or 15 kids in a particular room, and all of them were PG aspirants. Now we were sitting on either the left seat or the right seat, and the invigilator just 2 minutes or 3 minutes before the distribution of the paper just abruptly said that everyone sit on the right side of the table so that you can't peek into the other papers and there is some uniformity. And up until that point, even I was scared because of the whole external things. But then certainly, because I think this presence of mind or whatever, I was able to just interject and say, ma'am, most of us are right-handed. So maybe if rather than not sitting on the right side, can we sit on the left? It would help us in the in marking the OMR sheet. We can keep that separate and all that. And that the simple argument maybe reached her in a rational sense, and she agreed to it. Now, this was nothing huge in any sense, but just doing or saying that and seeing everyone's reaction helped me settle my nerves. That maybe this is my game now.
Confidence भी
Maybe I
boost
can
हुआ
just maybe one thing is going in my favor, even if 100 are not. And then it's all about the journey. You start building on those that one thing. You start doing one question at a time. And then when you see that I have already marked 50% or 60% of the paper, then you are like, अब तो कर सकते हैं, अब तो
कितना
खत्म
अटेम्प्ट
करते हैं इस
रहा था
पेपर को.
जय आपका पेपर में?
मेरा अटेम्प्ट काफी हाई था. इनफैक्ट मैं इसी उद्देश्य से गया था, अगर मैं कर सका तो मैं 100% क्यों ना अटेम्प्ट करूं. बट
80+
स्टिल
का
देयर
अगर कोई
वर.
टारगेट करेगा तो अटेम्प्ट हाई करना ही पड़ेगा बिल्कुल.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, सो मेरा अटेम्प्ट 92 थे.
वेरी बहुत अच्छा अटेम्प्ट भाई जयेश. तो अभी आपके क्या फ्यूचर प्लान्स हैं, थोड़ा सा उस पर भी पर्दा डालिए. ऑफ कोर्स हम चाहेंगे कि भावी हम आईएएस देखें आपको, बट उसके अलावा क्या अभी, जो कि अभी आज आपसे बात भी हो रही थी मेरी फोन पे, तो एनएलएसआईयू का भी चल रहा है एंड ये भी है कि हम पीएसयू का वेट करेंगे, क्योंकि अभी क्लैट का जो साइकिल है वो चेंज हुआ है. तो पीएसयू तो अप्रैल मार्च जब आता है तब आएगा. चांसेस 99% है कि जयेश का हो ही जाएगा. बट और इसके अलावा क्या फ्यूचर प्लान्स आपके दिमाग में भी चल रहे हैं, कंफ्यूजन या कुछ?
सो आई थिंक एवरीवन, अब होता है ना, जब तक रिजल्ट नहीं आता तब तक कुछ चीज सर्टन नहीं होती. बट राइट नाउ सिंस द रिजल्ट इज आउट, आई कैन सर्टनली प्लान इन अ सर्टन डायरेक्शंस. सो आई हैड हाफ and hearted idea about what LLM entails, which particular institutes are best. Given मैं जिस कॉलेज से आता हूँ, CLC, वो एक एकेडमिक गढ़ है. वहाँ पे
बिल्कुल.
लिटिगेशन या फिर एक एकेडमिक सेंस, रिसर्च सेंस, पब्लिक पॉलिसी के सेंस से बहुत सारे लॉयर्स बनते हैं वहां से. एंड वही फिर आगे जाके हमारी एग्जीक्यूटिव मशीनरी में लीड करते हैं. सो उनसे कुछ ना कुछ चीजें पास डाउन होके, ट्रिकल डाउन होते हुए आई थी. सो एज यू सेड, टॉकिंग अबाउट NLUs, this rank is good enough to at least consider certain NLUs. Now, considering these particular NLUs and their batches and the brilliant faculties that they have enlisted, you can certainly see a certain career being made. So I have obviously divided my NLU's preferences, or what you get out of NLU, and where my idea of my career progression fits in. So I would say one is obviously academic. Once you are done with those, you can obviously follow that with PhD, but at least that helps you get that assistant professor job by clearing your UGC net and everything. Then now that would be a certain career path that I would be interested in, given I have always been passionate towards it. Secondly, research and public policy. Now, as I told you, my background is of finance. I did a total 180 by going into law. And right now, if there is one thing that can tie up these two threads together, is this particular field. That India right now on the verge, because LLM, one thing my seniors made very clear is, whenever or up until this point, whatever research you have done is generally passed on research or secondary research. Basically, किसी ने पहले कर रखी है, आप उसको कंपाइल करते हो. बट LLM में आप लॉ फील्ड के एकदम एज पे ऑपरेट करते हो. मे बी उस फील्ड में ज्यादा लोगों ने आपकी कंट्री में, मे बी इन द वर्ल्ड, रिसर्च की ही नहीं है, उस पर ज्यादा लॉज बने ही नहीं है, पॉलिसी फॉर्मुलेट हुई नहीं है. सो आपको वहां पे एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिलता है किसी भी एक अच्छे NLS, एनालसर, या फिर इनफैक्ट प्राइवेट लॉ स्कूल्स में भी दूसरे जो नॉन NLUs है, वहां पे भी एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिलता है कि आप इस पर रिसर्च कर पाए. सो अगेन, दिस इज समथिंग आई एम वेरी पैशनेट टुवर्ड्स, एंड वुड डेफिनेटली, इफ आई गेट इनटू दिस NLU, this would be a certain door that I will try to open for myself. And finally, it would be the job. For a lot of non-NLU kids, LLM from a good NLU gives you that thappa, so to say. Or again, if you have a corporate background like me, it certainly gives you that edge so that you can demand that hike compared to your peers who have not maybe excelled in this particular field. So these are the things. And again, family law, my family is, I'm the first generation lawyer. Similarly, there is no litigation passion inside me, so that LLM could be studied aside and get to work on the actual real things. So I think these three lines that I pointed out would be my focus coming the future.
ओके जयेश, तो इसको खत्म करते हुए थोड़ा सा टेल अस समथिंग अबाउट क्लैट पॉइंट, की कैसे हमने आपकी क्या हेल्प करी एंड हाउ डू यू फाइंड अस, सारी मतलब
So I think it goes without saying, and I think everyone who ends up seeing this video would know that when you're preparing or with yourself, basically, that you're just with your books and your mind, there are certain points in that whole preparation that you feel maybe I'm not going into the right direction. There is no guiding principle or hand. Now, your particular coaching and other coaching institutes that are operating on YouTube and such platforms certainly helped anyone, certainly will help anyone who is preparing for the particular papers that you are teaching for. Again, first. Secondly, as I said, the main reason why I was able to clear this or crack this paper was because of presence of mind, because there is a lot of dynamic aspect of to each subject that an aspirant who is just studying from subjective books or static books is not aware of. And that's where your channel certainly helps. It not only provides you with those notes and certain things that help you to build that static, but also gives you the dynamic dynamic aspects to the law. And certainly in this paper, we can see that the last 2 year judgment, in fact, पिछले साल तक तो खाली 1 या +1 एंड +2 years की मैक्सिमम जजमेंट्स पूछते थे, बट इस बार सबरीमाला तक चले गए हम वापस, एंड उसके पर्टिकुलर हम बेंचेस पे फोकस किया, वहां पे कौन सी चीजें डील हो रही. सो आई थिंक दैट इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस, it's very difficult in today's world for a student to do by himself. And certainly when brilliant channel like yours come in, and certainly मैं एक चीज पॉइंट आउट तो करूंगा, जो करंट अफेयर्स वाले आपने टॉपिक्स उठाए, जो केसेस इन न्यूज वाले टॉपिक उठाए, एंड certainly जो सब्जेक्टिव
सबरीमाला मैंने
डिवाइड होके
पेपर
आए.
से 6 दिन पहले ही यूट्यूब पे डाला था, मतलब इट्स अवेलेबल ऑन,
Wonderful.
बट
So yeah, certainly, I mean, if anything, this particular LLM paper has certainly restated that point, that there is a significant need for channels and people like you, educators like you, who can not only help people, aspirants like me, to achieve their dreams, but also fulfill them much further.
जयेश, वैसे ना अभी क्लैट यूजी का भी रिजल्ट आया है पीजी के साथ, और हमारे बहुत सारे बच्चे ना बहुत मतलब डिमोटिवेटेड भी हो जाते हैं, इनका सिलेक्शन नहीं होता है, तो यू आर इंस्पिरेशन टू देम ऑल्सो. मैं हमेशा उनसे भी ये कहता हूँ, उन लोगों को ऐसा लगता है ना कि अगर हम क्लैट से नहीं गए, टॉप एनएलयूज में हमने यूजी में नहीं गए, 5 साल की लॉ नहीं करी, तो हम कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे. इवन मैं भी जामिया से मैंने 5 ईयर की लॉ करी थी. जयेश इज एन एग्जाम्पल. सीएलसी से, मतलब सीएलसी से गुड कॉलेज, लेकिन उसको एनएलयू में क्योंकि कॉर्पोरेट से रिलेट कर दिया जाता है, सीएलसी एंड बीएचयू को ट्रेडिशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज से, जामिया को ट्रेडिशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज से कर दिया जाता है, या और भी बहुत अच्छे अच्छे प्राइवेट कॉलेजेस हैं इंडिया में जो अच्छा कर रहे हैं. तो जयेश कैन भी मतलब बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है इस चीज का, कि अगर आप लोगों का सिलेक्शन नहीं भी हुआ है क्लैट में, तब भी आप घूम फिर के मंजिल को प्राप्त कर सकते हैं. नाउ ही इज इन अनडिसाइड. तो जयेश, आप उन
And
बच्चों
in
के लिए भी कुछ
fact,
कहिए जो 12वीं में अभी पास हुए हैं, बहुत परेशान है, उनका सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ है इस बार, जिन लोगों का.
देखिए, हाँ, मैं एक बहुत बेसिक सी चीज बोलूंगा. शायद ये मुझे भी कहीं ना कहीं मेरे सर्कमस्टांसेस ने रियलाइज करवाई कि कुछ भी चीज सेड एंड डन नहीं होती. किसी ने बोल दिया या फिर कोई तरीका लिख दिया कि इसी तरीके से होगा, ये कभी भी सच नहीं हो सकता. दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है, बहुत ज्यादा इसमें अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंट करियर पाथ्स हैं, एंड कहीं ना कहीं से होके, and mark my words, the job that you will be doing in 5 years, 10 years time might not even be created right now.
Yeah.
There is just 10 people who are working in that field. So be prepared for that as well. And for that, you need exposure. Certainly, NLUs are a great platform that give you a good exposure in terms of n number of things. But at the end of the day, they just give you an exposure about n number of things. What about n+1? What about n+2? And what about the whole new variable? अगर आपको m के बारे में सीखना है, then you have to go through a different path. So whatever best opportunity that you have in your hand, even if that is going to a college that is not so reputed by the world's term, or maybe that is taking a sincere drop attempt and refocusing and finally picking up a book and studying. If those are your options, then sit with yourself, consult your elders, consult people like institutes like CLAT Point, and help decide for yourself which particular field that I want to choose. The end goal should be semi-certain. You should have multiple options that I want to do this, that. I mean, look at me. After 3 degrees or 2 degrees now, even I have certain 3 or 4 options that I can still end up being. So the doors are never closed. The world is not ended. Keep some hope. Be cheerful in that sense that you are alive and happy, and just believe in the forces of the world.
सो इट वॉज वेरी नाइस टॉकिंग टू यू जयेश, और काफी कुछ 3D टाइप का, मतलब मुझे भी बहुत अच्छा लगा। जैसे आज मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों के इंटरव्यूज लिए हैं, बट दिस इज समथिंग डिफरेंट, और बहुत अच्छा लगा। एक बहुत इंटेलेक्चुअल इंसान से बात हो रही है, वो समझ में आ रहा है, और रैंक 18 आया है तो ही डिजर्व इट, और वो उनके बातचीत से भी साफ साफ झलक रहा है। तो ऑल दी बेस्ट जयेश फॉर योर फ्यूचर्स। एंड लास्ट 2 लाइन्स आप जो सभी एस्पिरेंट्स को कहना चाहते हैं।
Before running after a paper or a job or any goal in life, know yourself first.
बहुत अच्छी बात यहाँ पे जयेश ने कही है। आप लोग इसको पॉज करके एक बार फिर से सुनिएगा और समझने की कोशिश करिएगा कि इसका मीनिंग कितना डेप्थ में है। एंड थैंक यू सो मच जयेश फॉर मतलब आपकी थोड़ा टाइम हम लोग के निकालने के लिए, वीडियो के आने के लिए। आई होप आप अपने फ्यूचर में और अच्छा करें, एंड आपको आगे वी विल कीप इन टच। तो थैंक यू सो मच गाइज फॉर वॉचिंग द वीडियो। डू लाइक, शेयर, सब्सक्राइब द चैनल। एंड जयेश के लिए आप सभी लोग भी विश कर सकते हैं। कोई भी आपको क्वेश्चंस पूछने हो कमेंट बॉक्स में आप डाल सकते हैं। वी विल ट्राई कि हम जयेश से उसको कम्युनिकेट करके वहां पे आंसर लिखते हैं। तो थैंक यू सो मच जयेश। बाय गाइस, टेक केयर।